What is up? This is day 4 of Here the Whole Time by Victor Martins. Welcome. I wake up with sunlight coming in through my window, and the first thing I hear is Caio snoring. It's not a real snore, it's more like a purr. He doesn't sleep with his mouth open. His mouth is closed in a half smile, and it even seems like he knows he's being watched. I, on the other hand, have awful bedhead, my cheek is sticky with drool, and my shirt is rolled up to my midriff. I cover myself quickly because I don't want him to see me like this. Good morning, Kyle says when he wakes, his voice a little raspy. I break into a cold sweat because once again, I don't know how to act around him. Last night I did so well, but today is different. The room isn't dark anymore. It doesn't matter that Kyle isn't even looking at me. I still have this feeling that I'm being watched the whole time. I'm already used to the looks that I get, but not to his look. I think I'll never get used to it. Because Kaio's stare is more like a laser beam striking my body smack dab in the middle, burning me alive as my organs slide out of my body, but in a good way. It's so nice to sleep on a real bed again, Kaio continues, since I didn't reply to his good morning. That's great, is all I can say. Kaio gives up on trying to sustain a conversation and starts exchanging texts on his phone with someone more interesting than me. Basically anybody. We don't have time to stew in our awkward silence because a few seconds later my mom knocks on the door and hurries into the room. Felipe, I have to teach today, and I totally forgot, so there's no lunch for the two of you. Go to the supermarket and pick up something, she said, shoving money in my face. At the beginning of the year, my mom started volunteering at a nonprofit organization that helps low income communities in our town. Every Monday, she gives art lessons to a group of kids all ages. It's not quite a class, but there are no exams, homework, or anything like that. My mom brings her own supplies and helps the kids create whatever they want. Paintings, sculptures, photos, collages. They learn a little bit of everything, and my mom always says that teaching makes her feel good. I consider my options quickly. My mom spends the entire day at the organization and usually comes home late. Caio is still texting on his phone, and honestly, I don't know if I can stand an entire day like this. Can I come with you? I ask before she rushes out of the bedroom. What about Caio? She asks. Hi, he responds, peeling his eyes away from the phone. Good morning, Rita. What about me? Good morning, honey. I'm off to the community center. I teach art classes every Monday to a lovely group of kids. I'm in, he says, even before my mom finishes the sentence, and he seems pretty excited by the idea of not having to spend the entire day alone with me. Go on, get ready then, the two of you. I'm already late, my mom says, clapping her hands. 2 seconds later, Kyle is already up, taking off his shirt in front of me. The scene doesn't happen in slow motion with sax solo playing in the background. It's all very quick and natural, as if he were already used to taking off his shirt like this in front of someone. Kyle puts on a clean shirt, and when he takes off his pajama shorts to get into jeans, I forget how to breathing works. Because for 1 second, my eyes meet Kaio's underwear, black boxers, and my mom is still standing in the doorway, and this is, without a doubt, the weirdest moment of my entire life. I'm ready, says Kyle with a smile on his face as if he expects an award for getting dressed in record time. The two of them stare at me, waiting for me to do the same, and, of course, I won't. I'd rather leave the house in my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle shirt with a hole in the armpit than change in front of Kyle. So that's exactly what I do. I put on a fleece jacket over the old t-shirt and pants over the shorts I'm wearing, as if it were the most normal thing in the whole world, and a few seconds later, I'm ready too. All right, now let's go, my mom says, slapping my butt, as if this morning needed to get any weirder. Can I keep the cash? I asked, holding up the 20 she handed me earlier. Keep dreaming, Felipe. With that, she snaps it out of my hands and kisses my cheek. We get on a crowded bus, but find two empty seats in the back. My mom and Caio take them while I'm left standing, because bus seats were not made for anyone who's a little larger than the norm. In fact, there are lots of things in the world that were not made for fat people. Bathroom stalls, school desks, to cool clothes that are just a few good examples. The people I meet at the community center lead such different lives from the ones that every other that every week I feel like I'm learning more than I'm teaching, you know? My mom says to Caio about the kids. There are toddlers who lost their parents to drugs and big kids who can barely spell their own names. There's a 14-year-old girl who arrived last week, and when I asked what she wanted to learn, she said she was just dropping off her kid. The girl has a 1-year-old son, the cutest baby in the world, but still, it's a hard life. Having a child so early forces you to learn things that you shouldn't be old enough to learn. I can hear the emotion in her voice, and Caio is listening so intently that he barely blinks. That's my mom's superpower. When she gets serious, everyone stops to listen. I know I'm not good at teaching these kids a trade. They spend the afternoon playing with glitter glue and Play Doh, and let's be honest, art isn't paying anyone's bills, you know? But if it did, would you would be sleeping in a decent guest room, am I right, Kyle? She jokes, and the three of us laugh. But I like to think that when they spend the day with me, they're safe. These kids live surrounded by violence, drugs, and abuse. That's their normal, and I know I can't protect all of them, but sometimes art can, she says, and I can see a tear running down her left cheek. Kyle looks at me as if he doesn't know how to react, so I grab my mom's hand and squeeze it tight because I think it's the right thing to do. And Kyle holds her other hand. She brings both of our hands to her lips and gives each one a kiss. It's a beautiful moment, but it would be better if we weren't in a crowded bus, and if I weren't wearing briefs and an old pair of shorts under my jeans. Seriously, why did I think this was a good idea? After almost an hour on the bus, we finally arrive at the community center. It's basically a two-story house with a very humble design. As soon as we walk in, we're welcomed by a tiny woman with a colorful scarf over her hair. "Good morning, Rita. Your class is already waiting for you," the lady says, hugging my mom. "I brought my son along today, Carol," my mom replies, and Carol looks at Caio right away. "What a good-looking fellow," she says, hugging him. Carol is definitely a hugger. "Ah, no, I'm just the neighbor," Caio says, a little embarrassed. "Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Felipe." I chime in, bracing for the hug, but Carol only offers her hand to shake mine, a tight smile on her face. I don't have a lot of time to analyze the situation because my mom is already pulling us down the hallway. The center is way bigger than it looks from the outside. The hallway is full of doors, and each one has a little sign indicating a different class. Ballet, music, jujitsu, drama. They have everything in this place. But I'm relieved when I find the door I've been looking for since I first set foot in this place. The bathroom. "I gotta go to the bathroom. See you in the classroom," I say, making my way toward the door with the sign that says boys. "Last door on the right down the same hallway," my mom says, moving on to her first class of the day. Caio goes after her. The bathroom is small, but it has what I need: a stall. Putting jeans over my shorts was by far the worst idea I've ever had, and I'm a pretty big collection of bad ideas. I go into a stall, drop my pants, and take a relieved breath. I have a heat rash on my legs. Sorry to throw this unexpected information at you, but hold tight because this is an important bit of the story. And I just sit on the toilet for a while, trying to figure out how to bring the shorts with me to the classroom and hide them in my mom's purse. Then I hear the bathroom door open and some boys walk in making a racket. I sit there in silence because I don't want to be caught with my pants down. Literally. "Stop, please, I didn't do anything to you," I hear a kid's voice say. The boy can't be more than 8 or maybe 10. I'm not an expert on kids. "Gonna cry, little girl?" I hear an older kid answer while a group of boys laughs. "Why don't you face me yourself then?" says the younger one, braver than I was when I was his age. "Because you're fat. We need more than one to handle all of you," the older boy answers, and the others start laughing harder. Then one by one they start laughing, launching attacks at the younger boy. "Jubba the Hutt, tub of lard, land whale." And for a second, it feels as if they're talking to me. Like I said, I'm used to it, but hearing these words being said to a child, one after another, like a reflex, makes my blood boil. I've never been brave. I've always been the kind of person who takes it in a stride and pretends nothing ever happened. But this time, I pull my pants up, now with the shorts, and open the stall door with a bang to scare the boys. I found the younger boy pressed against the corner of the bathroom, surrounded by 5 older kids. They must be around 13. "What's going on here?" I say, making my voice as serious as I can. I think I can make myself seem like an adult, at least enough to frighten them. Nothing, one of the boys says. At the same time, all of them get away from the younger boy and run out of the bathroom. I'm overcome with relief because walking out of the stall and confronting them was my only plan. Thanks, mister, the younger boy says in a very low voice. His eyes are full of tears, and it breaks my heart. I smile to show him everything's fine, and also because I think it's funny that he's calling me mister. You can call me Felipe, I say, stepping closer to the boy and crouching next to him. What's your name? Eddie, the boy said, still shy. It's Joao Eduardo, but they call me Eddie. Eddie is a bigger boy, and his clothes don't fit him anymore. His old t-shirt is tight, and it lets a good chunk of his belly out. How old are you, Eddie? I ask, because I don't know what else to say. 9. I was so close. You were brave, standing up to those boys because they're jerks, I say, and then regret it immediately because I don't know if it's appropriate to say the word jerks to a 9-year-old. They always do that. I'm used to it by now, Eddie says and punches the wall. I can feel the anger in his words, and more than that, I can identify with him in a way I've never identified with anyone before. It's as if, at 9 years old, Eddie's already fed up with the world. All of a sudden, I understand how my mom feels when she said she wishes she could keep all her students safe. I try to change the subject. Which class are you taking here? Art with Miss Rita, he says, and it makes me happy that I get to help make this kid feel safe for the entire day. I'm going to the art class too, shall we? I say, then put my hands in my jacket pockets because I don't know if I'm supposed to hold his hand. I think when they're 9, kids don't hold adults' hand anymore, but to my astonishment, Eddie nods and holds out his hand to me. If you think spending the day surrounded by kids painting canvases and creating Play-Doh figures is an easy task, you were completely mistaken. These kids are little devils who scream the whole time and run around in every direction, and it's impossible to get 1 second of peace in the classroom. But every time a student calls my mom over to show her the piece they've created, I can see the smile in her smile that effort is well worth it. Some kids get here, stay for half an hour, and then leave, whereas some spend the whole day at the center. Eddie is the type who spends the day here. From the moment we walked out of the bathroom, he hasn't left my side. We walked around the classroom introducing me to his friends, and all of them seemed fascinated as if Eddie had made the most incredible discovery of all time. Who could imagine you'd be so good with kids, huh, Felipe? My mom remarks when she sees me sitting in a circle with Eddie and 3 other children. Want me to bring my son every week? She asks them, and they all start yelling excitedly, jumping on me. Caio is doing well too. He has a group of older kids building sculptures with Play Doh, popsicle sticks, and paint. Surrounded by so many people, the two of us haven't been alone for a single moment, but we've exchanged laughs whenever a kid said something funny. By the end of the afternoon, I'm dead tired. We organize a little gallery in the classroom with the paintings and sculptures by the students, then start saying our goodbyes to the kids, who begin to trickle out. Some are still ambling around the hallways because they simply have nowhere to go. Caio and I help my mom clean up the classroom before we leave, and when we get to the front entrance, I hear Eddie call my name. Mr. Felipe, hold on. He comes rushing down the hallway, and when he finally reaches us, he needs a moment to catch his breath. I made this for you. He hands me a piece of paper. It's a makeshift envelope with something written in a kid's handwriting. From Joao Eduardo to Mr. Felipe. When I unfold the envelope, my smile feels too big to fit on my face. Do you like it, mister? Eddie asks, standing on the tips of his toes so he can see the paper in my hand. It's a drawing of me in a Batman costume, flying in a blue sky full of clouds. Technically, Batman can't fly, but of course I'm not going to tell him that. I love the drawing anyway. I'm still fat in Eddie's version of me, but my arms are strong and muscular. It's one of the coolest things anyone has ever made for me. I think it's awesome, Eddie. Thank you so much. I'll keep it forever, I say, patting his head. He lets out a laugh that rings happily in my ears, and I feel like I should give him something in exchange for the drawing. I shove my hand in my pocket and find a chocolate bar. I have no idea how long it's been lost in there, but even so, it seems good enough to eat. Do you like chocolate? I ask, handing him the half melted bar. Yay, thanks! He starts unwrapping the candy excitedly. Don't tell anyone else, but you're my favorite. I'll come back another day so we can draw some more. Deal? Eddie gives me a thumbs up and said something I can't make out because he's chewing, but then he turns around and runs off. I fold my gift back into its envelope and put it in my pocket where the chocolate bar was, and when I look at my mom, she's all emotional. This is why I come back every week. In my ear, she whispers in my ear as Caio, and I walk to the bus stop. When we get home, we're all exhausted. The first thing I do is run to my room and hang up my present on the wall. I have a mural made of my favorite superhero posters over my desk, and the drawing of me as Batman just claimed its space. To be honest, I don't even care about Batman that much, but this drawing is awesome. In case you're wondering, which you probably aren't, these are my top 3 favorite superheroes of all time. 1. Green Lantern, because he has a ring that can turn him into anything, literally, and to me, that's the coolest superpower ever. This obviously doesn't take into account the movie starring Ryan Reynolds as the Green Lantern, because that movie was one of the worst things ever created by mankind, right after Chicken and Waffles Lays. 2. Robin, who's technically a sidekick and doesn't have any superpowers, but I love him, and this is my list. 3. Aquaman, because he's the coolest, a superhero who can get to being a mermaid. We eat leftover pizza together in the living room, but today the TV is off. We're all too worn out to look for the remote. Caio, don't even think about telling your mother that I let you eat pizza 2 days in a row. Do you hear me? My mom says. Caio promises to keep it a secret, and when he finishes his slice, excuses himself to go shower. I'm alone in the living room with my mom, and she rests her head on my shoulder. I loved spending the day with you, son. You did so well. She steals an olive from my slice of pizza. I've never seen Juan Eduardo so happy. He's always been a quiet kid who won't talk to anybody. I thought it was so strange when I saw him run into the classroom with you in tow. Sometimes people only need someone else to start the conversation, I say, because that's what I've been hoping for every single day since Caio arrived. My mom seems absorbed in her thoughts for a minute, as if choosing which words to use, and then suddenly she blurts out a question as if it's a confession. Felipe, you're happy, aren't you? Most of the time, yeah. I am happy, I answer, which is technically true, but I'm not in the mood to open up and spill my heart to my mom. Not right now, anyway. Most of the time is a good chunk of time, isn't it? I think so. And the rest of the time when you're not happy. You know you can talk to me, don't you? I know, I say, uncertain of where she's going with this conversation. Anyway, today was fun and all, but now I need like 20 hours of sleep to recover from it. Good night, son. Mommy loves you, she says, still pensive. I kiss my mom goodnight and take a quick, lazy shower, and when I get to the bedroom, Caio is already in bed, wearing his naval pajamas and reading the first few pages of The Two Towers. You can turn off the lights if you want. I won't be able to read for much longer, he says. I turn them off and get into bed, and suddenly all the sleep in me is gone. Now that we're in the dark, the confident and talkative Felipe takes over. So, what did you think of today? I ask. It was fun. At first, I thought it'd be overwhelming with all those kids, Caio answers. But in the end, it was totally worth it. That's what my mom always says. She loves those kids. Some days she talks about her kids so much that I even get a little jealous. Seriously. But I would too. Your mom is so incredible. When she took me to the mall yesterday, we talked so much. I've never felt that comfortable, not even with my own mom, Caio says. I feel a little sorry for him, and I don't know how to keep the conversation going because, honestly, what am I going to say to a guy who doesn't like his own mother? It's not like I don't like my mom, Caio adds as if he's reading my thoughts. It's just that sometimes she can be so complicated. Complicated how? She's way too protective. I mean, I'm 17 years old, and I'm spending my vacation at my neighbor's house because she doesn't trust me enough to leave me at home by myself. I tried to negotiate, promised to call the hotel room every night to check in, but it was no use. By the way, I guess I never apologized for that, huh? Sorry I ruined your vacation. I doubt you chose to spend 15 days locked up with me. You have no idea, Caio. Oh, come on, it's all good. It's not as if I had loads of plans, I say with a smile, even though I know that Caio can't see it in the dark. It's just that my mom told me you were staying with us about 3 minutes before you got here. Caio laughs. You see, I go on, she's not the perfect mom you're imagining. Miss Rita's a fraud. I don't know about that, but I can tell how much she loves you, Caio says, and I find it so weird to hear someone else talk about my mom's feelings for me. For real, Felipe, yesterday at the mall, she would only talk about you, about how responsible you are, and that you're such good company, and great at choosing movies, and guessing who will be eliminated from cooking competitions on TV. I feel proud because I'm actually really good at that, and it's nice to get a little recognition sometimes. But that's a mom thing. I bet yours also loves telling other people about you. They're all like that, I say, trying to make him feel better. I don't know. Sometimes I think she's ashamed of me. Why would she be ashamed of you? I ask with genuine indignation in my voice. Because I'm gay? Caio says, and in that moment, the air in my room feels lighter. Let's make something clear. Knowing Caio is gay doesn't come as a shock to me. I have a good gaydar, and have always known this to be true. I've seen Caio's Instagram about 20 million times. I know what kind of music he listens to, where he hangs out, and even what filters he uses for his selfies. And to be honest, I think that if Caio were straight, I wouldn't be so in love with him. I like boys who are obviously gay because I am obviously gay and dream of someone with whom I can obviously be gay together with. I'm not super attracted to the straight acting types, with a few exceptions like Hugh Jackman. And yet, hearing Caio say, I am gay, makes it all feel so official. You know when Ricky Martin came out of the closet and everyone was so surprised? Not that he was gay, but that he decided to say so. All of a sudden, it was way cooler to listen to Livin' La Vida Loca because Ricky Martin was officially gay. That's how I feel right now. So, without any shame, I just put the truth out there. I am too. Gay, that is. I figured, yeah. Kaio responds almost immediately. I've never talked to another gay boy my age, unless you count the internet, and suddenly I have a million questions to ask. They appear one after another in my head, and I feel like I might explode. Does your mom know? Is the first one I ask. She does. I've never said it out loud, but I've also never hidden it. It's kind of obvious. I don't know. And she always says things like, stop waving your hands so much when you talk, Kaio, or sit like a man, Kaio. So yeah, she knows, but pretends she doesn't. Like I said, she's complicated. Yours? She knows. I told her. Really? And how did it go? Kai was so interested he plops his elbows to hear about it. It's not a very exciting story. I said, Mom, there's something I need to tell you. I'm gay. Please love me. Then she said she'd always known and it was alright and she would love me forever, etc. I say, but this is a very condensed version of the story. Like everything else in my life, the real story was a little more dramatic. It happened last year when I bought the teen magazine with tips to get over your body image and insecurities. After realizing that an article in a stupid magazine wasn't going to be any help, I cried a little, but the crying got out of control, and suddenly I was crying hard, sobbing, drooling, making noise. My mom, who was painting in the kitchen, heard me cry and ran to the bedroom to see what was the matter. I felt so ashamed. Ashamed of my body, of crying, and especially of my mom seeing all that. I didn't know how to explain it to her. I could have said, so, Mom, you might have noticed I'm fat. At school, fat people aren't the popular ones, and in general, everything sucks. But I didn't. I was afraid of saying it. My attempt to hide one secret ended with me revealing another one. Still, with my eyes full of tears, I said, Mom, there's something I need to tell you. I'm gay. Please love me. And she cried, hugged me, and promised to love me forever. In the end, I went to bed happy that night. It was a weight off my shoulders, and ever since then, being gay has never been a problem. Of course, I'm not about to tell Kaio the full story on the second night we share a bedroom, but he seems satisfied with the short version, and after some time in silence, I hear his voice really low. I hope one day my mom will love me like that too. It sounds a little sad, as if he's about to burst into tears at any moment. I want to hug him because that's what you do for someone who's about to cry, right? But I don't have the courage. Don't be silly. She's your mom. She's loved you from the second you were born, I say, and hope these words are enough to make him feel hugged. After that, Kyle doesn't say anything else, and I stay quiet until sleep comes. Okay, that is the end of day 4. Whew. Okay, come back for day 5 pretty soon. See you tomorrow.